think the bike's as ready to go as it's gonna be. I just threw on a new chain and sprocket set to lower my gear ratio. Should help a bunch off-road. Change the oil, change the air filter, put on my big ol' moose mitts because it might be raining in a couple days here. Oh, Leanie love, I love you. Man, it takes so much prep to get out on one of these trips. Not only are you packing for a mountain bike trip, not only are you packing for a multi-day camping trip, but you're also packing for a motorcycle trip, so you need all this extra gear, tire plugs, tools, air compressor. Just gassed up here in Bellingham, did the little bike swap, grabbed the Yeti, and yeah, I got a little bit less stuff than what I brought on the last trip, and hopefully that works out okay. Let's go see if we can get across this border smooth and make it up to the Chilcotins. So I'm heading out of Bellingham, and it's a beautiful evening. I'm going through this very pastoral area north of town. Make it to the border crossing, and I haven't crossed the border yet since this all started, so I was a little nervous about making it across. First time in 2 years, I'm in Canada. First up, we'll get some bear spray. Maybe I should change my speedometer to run in kilometers. Canadian discount tire. Had to get a few necessities for the trip. I'm exhausted. Stayed up late last night doing the bunny hop video. It's time to get some quick dinner here at a restaurant or something fast, and then book it out into the woods and camp out night one of the trip. Let's go. It got dark, like it was dark as I was leaving the outdoors store. So right here, I'm making a left turn that's gonna put me on, oh goodness, at least 100, maybe 200 kilometers of gravel road. Basically, this left turn I'm making up here is gonna put me in the middle of nowhere for a long time. I'm just gonna kind of follow water to my right, north, until I get up to the backcountry. Started to see the orange moon over this beautiful lake. It was cool. The road got really fun for just a moment, and then it went to dirt, and pretty quickly to pretty rough dirt. And then I found this little campsite. I don't think that's something I should drive my touring bike up. I don't think I can fit around that one. I had to walk down my 2 feet down this hill to the campsite because I didn't know if my motorcycle could make it back up. Yeesh. I hope in the morning I can make it back up. So there's always that. There's always something. And that's what makes this a little bit of an adventure.
Good morning, guys. Let's start heading north. So my plan was to get as far as I could the first night, and I wanted to just make progress, get to the roads where I'm going to be riding mostly yesterday on the second day. And my plan was to actually make it here, possibly even go for a bike ride yesterday. But as these trips can go, fate had a slightly different plan written for me. So I camp out on the side of the road, just like a pretty trashed little turnout. And this is like, this whole area was full of junked cars and just absolutely thrashed. But, you know, it's the beginning of a long road, so whatever. It's like where Vancouver goes to get its redneck on.
Oh, skid plate right there.
I'm out motoing all morning. The trail is fine. It's just a dirt road, no big deal. I eat this great lunch with this amazing view of the lake. Like I finally got right next to the lake, and I've been seeing the lake almost the whole ride. I get packed up, get a picture of my daughter's favorite stuffy, and I get all packed back up and go to moto up the hill. And I notice that the hill is like a little bit steeper, a little bit more challenging. Cruise right up it. You know, I've got a lot of dirt bike experience. That stuff's totally within my wheelhouse. And you know, made it up the hill. I remember thinking I should narrate it for the GoPro, but like remembering that I had to focus and not crash, so I didn't narrate it. So it was that tricky. Anyhow, make it up the hill, and you get to the top of the little thing, and I'm like, where's my glasses? So it's really easy to lose clear glasses, because you look and you can't see them, they're clear. It's like camouflage pants. You set them down, you can't find them again, they're gone. So turn around, I'm like, well, I guess I'm doing that hill a second time. What do I see? A bunch of ADV riders, guys with motorcycles like mine, going the same direction I am. And come down, and then I see two more, but one is on the side. So I park, run down the hill, help them right his massive KTM 1290. Back upright. He's a little jittery. Understandable. I would be jittery too. That's a big bike, and trying to pick it up, you can get, it's a lot of effort. I can't believe I feel as good as I do today, actually. But we'll get more to that.
Jim, I'm Jeff. Glad you're all right.
Fellow's name is Jim. He's okay. I run back up, grab my bike. I'm like, oh, I gotta get my glasses. Bomb down the hill that took poor Jim out. Found my glasses. They're sitting right there underneath the bench. They'd fallen off as I was getting ready. Back on the moto, rally back up the hill a second time. I really wanted to like not get close to these guys, but I was kind of all over the place and I kind of got closer to them than I wanted to, but I didn't hit them, so that's good.
Bikes are tricky on the loose.
Ride, get some shots, you know, the trail's never as technical as that again. There's like one other hill climb that might have been a little bit more technical, but it was shorter. Anyhow, riding. I don't know what, maybe 30, 40 kilometers, quite a ways. And then I get to a massive log, bigger than any log I've seen ever dragged across a road. Here in the Pacific Northwest, temperatures have dropped quickly as we've moved into the fall. However, it's still very humid, and I feel like it's actually more humid now than it was during the summer. On a long climb up to the top of a mountain, even if it's raining, I'll often have to wear one of the best jackets that you can get for mountain biking. However, I still end up sweating buckets. So I found on longer rides it can be really helpful to bring an electrolyte supplement. I want to give a big thanks to LMNT for sponsoring my channel. LMNT makes a really simple electrolyte mix. The main focus of these are to provide more potassium, magnesium, and sodium, which are the basic electrolytes your body needs. And they do this all without any added sugar. For a limited time, you can try an LMNT sample pack for free. They're asking $5 to cover shipping, and you can find that through the link I have pasted in the YouTube description below. Just hit the show more button and you'll see everything you need to know. When temperatures are higher, I like using the watermelon, citrus, orange, and lime flavors. And when temperatures have fallen, like today, I really like the more Mexican spicy flavors, as that provides a little more pep, wakes me up a little bit more, and keeps me well functioning when it gets really sweaty and humid out. A big thanks to LMNT for sponsoring this video and for working with me for the last couple months. Road closed. This is oddly familiar. And the sign says road closures of up to 2 hours. And I'm like, are they really gonna drive an excavator over here and move this log and so I can get through? I meet the guys, so they're on their lunch break.
How's it going, guys? Hey.
Howdy.
Any way I can pass through here on my bike?
It's a construction site, my friend.
Yeah,
It's just
not
a
right now.
Are you guys gonna like knock off in a few hours?
Yeah, tonight we will, yeah.
Okay. And no way to get through.
Yeah, no.
Go to Ministry of Google Ministry of Forest,
Okay.
Yeah.
and you'll go to the road closures, like I found in 1 minute.
Okay.
Make sure it was on there.
Cool. Well, thanks guys, appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, sorry, we can't let you through right now. It's just not.
That's fine.
It's fine.
Do your thing, that's okay.
Yeah.
Thanks guys.
And it's like, you got one, you're one of about 20 people that are coming by.
Yeah. Well, that's a little disappointing. Maybe not a little disappointing, but a lot disappointing. Oh, believe me, I Googled this many times over. Google did not take me to any of these road closure websites.
They explain that the road is closed and that it would be opening again on Friday. Mind you, this is Wednesday. I don't really have the food or the time to kill 2 nights so I can get through this bridge. At this point, I'm thinking like, well, okay, maybe they will hit quitting time and I can sneak through, because it seemed like with a lot of effort and motivation, I could probably sneak through if I took all my bags off. That would be squirrely, but I could probably get through it. So I'm like, all right, I could probably do this. And I've got like a pulley and rope and everything. So I've got ratchet straps. I've got some tricks up my sleeve. So I'm like, all right, cool. 5 o'clock, I'll come back and I'll get through. Who rolls up eventually? I'm thinking to myself, those ADV guys are gonna roll up.
Yeah.
Did you go talk to somebody?
I did. They're all staying out there around lunch. They said in 1 minute I could have checked the website and found out there's 2 blockades on this road.
I tell them what the guys at the bridge said. They kind of don't believe me, so one of them walks over and talks to the bridge folk themselves. I had already scouted the area for like a bypass trail, and I had found what looked like the entrance to a bypass trail, but then it didn't go anywhere, so I was kind of perplexed. And then the creek was pretty big, so I'm like, I can't get a street bike through this creek.
So I was checking all the forums and everything that I could read online. Is there indication of any? We really can't afford to wait around for a couple hours and then take the chance. Well, it's 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Like the bridge has cement and everything on it. The bridge is passable. It's like the ramps on and off are still soft, sandy, super unpacked.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm on your guys' side.
You gonna go
That's only because I'm going home. I'm
It's
usually,
like a sure span or something.
I'm usually a grumpy mother.
You went over bearing gifts. They probably let you.
They mentioned that people on bikes had passed already on another day through the creek, and that was all they knew. One of my new moto friends here might have said some strong words because they decided to turn their excavator around and dig out the area that I needed to ride through the bridge and make it impossible to sneak through after hours. So that wasn't going to be an option anymore. That's fine. But these guys were like, you know, if those guys snuck their bikes around through the creek, maybe we can do it. So I like this Canadian way of thinking. So sure enough, we all scout, and I had missed the trail that goes to the trail that bypasses the bridge. Wesley finds that trail, and then we push ahead and find the way you get down to the creek, and it looked passable, definitely on a dirt bike. But the creek is deep, like knee deep. And it's wide, 75 feet wide. It's a pretty wide creek, and it's deep at the other side. So I'm like, I don't know, street bike, oil filter's gonna be well underwater. And then, but once you get over the creek, then it was pretty easy to get back up to the road. As a trial, we try one of the lightest, smallest dirt bike in their group, Paul's bike. And sure enough, make it down, and with all of us pushing and guiding, we were able to get it through the creek. But it was like dancing all over the place, and he almost went over a few times. But it's okay. Paul's a really good rider, but he got through the creek and up to the other side. So we're like, all right, let's try the KLR 650. Got Glenn's KLR 650. Got through. Wasn't easy, but we made it. Got it through. So we're like, okay, let's try Wes's BMW. If that street bike can make it through, then I will consider making it through. If you're a guy that counts on the 1290, which is a bigger bike than mine, if that one can't get through, look, I'll volunteer. I'll ride with him around the other way and meet you guys. That way he's not alone. And if we can't get it through, whatever. Got the BMW. It wasn't easy, but we got it through. I couldn't believe this. The BMW is a lot smaller than my Suzuki.
So the big KTM 1290 is up next. I said if that thing can't make it, I'll ride back with that guy the way we came. That's Jim. He's more of a Goldwing rider.
KTM gets through the creek. We had to move rocks out of the way of the front wheel because that bike's so big, you're not picking it up and moving the bike. So we moved some rocks as we were going and made it through. Holy cow, Jim rode it and he got it through. That was awesome. So then it's my turn. Well, rally over. There's this little dip where everyone else had gotten pretty tangled up. And I was able to get through that smoothly. So that's my claim to fame. Made it through the dip. I did get stuck getting into this trail though. The guys helped. There's no way I could have gotten across this creek by myself. Absolutely no way. I can't touch the ground very well on this bike. This bike has almost no ground clearance also. So it's a high seat, a low belly. So I'm like trying to ride this thing through the creek and my feet are like just touching water. I can't touch the bottom. So I'm just trying to throttle and clutch as smooth as I can and pick good lines, try to keep it balanced. Well, I've got guys on either side helping push for forwards momentum and keep me upright so I don't tip over, which would be catastrophic on this computer-controlled, fuel-injected motorcycle. I don't know how we would clean it out if it did get flooded. We made it through. Got it on up, top of the other bank, and then sure enough, I got stuck right away on the first 6-inch diameter log.
Stuck on a log.
This bike has a very low belly. We've got all the bikes through. These guys helped me get over the 2 logs that I can't roll this darn
That was pretty crazy.
street bike over, and made it up. My boots are still soaking wet. It's the next day. There was like an inch of standing water in the bottoms of my boots, which I drained out when I bumped into these guys a few minutes later. Yeah, quite the hectic moment. It took us almost 3 hours to get all 5 motorcycles through the creek. That's still about 5 hours faster than to go back and all the way around to go north. So we were ahead. And also, it was such a cool thing to get that spirit of teamwork, you know? So big thanks to Jim, Paul, Glenn, Wes, and Kent for their help in getting across that creek. It's the kind of stuff that make adventures exactly what they are. That was awesome.
Rock solid. I think this has been working its way loose for a while. Awesome, I fixed it.
Getting through the roadblock meant for a great adventure and a great story, but unfortunately it meant one less day of mountain biking. Still, after the roadblock, I had to make it all the way north to find a potential campsite close to some trails that I've been really looking forwards to riding.
Today we get to ride bicycles. This is gonna be fun. Not my best sleep, but still. I might be a little sore after yesterday's adventure. So, breakfast. Good morning, guys. Who's ready for another episode of Cooking with Jeff? If you are, hit the like button. I need that coffee today. So this morning we're making a very simple breakfast because we're gonna try to ride before the rain comes. Because there's a lot of rock slabs here and I don't want to slide off a rock in the pouring rain and break my pelvis. We're gonna get a little instant oatmeal, very, very fancy. And part of what makes this oatmeal much better than regular oatmeal is the addition of lots of trail mix. So I'm probably gonna add 2 or maybe even 3 containers of trail mix. Almonds. Well, I guess we're doing almonds. Apparently I've eaten the rest of my trail mix. After we stir this up, we're gonna add our avocado. This might be my only bowl of oatmeal. Okay, let's add some avocado to this. Ah! Dang it. I think this is just about ready to rock. There's a big glacier up in that peak. That's pretty cool.
Today was a good day. Woke up at this amazing campsite, basically where I was hoping to wake up, which was super cool. Very satisfying. Went for a fun little mountain bike ride. I met some super nice folk in the parking lot. I wanted to ride more trail with them, but the hard thing about these trips is I gotta film to make these videos. And I really love meeting new mountain bikers and really love riding with new people, but then I gotta make a video too, and I'm not gonna make people stand around while I film.
Hey, Logan. Free water bottle stash right here.
Brennan and John, nice to meet you guys. The trails I rode today were fun. The climb up was pretty sweaty. It's surprisingly humid, even though it was like 19 Celsius at the start, and it was borderline raining. Yeah, it was pretty darn humid, so I sweated through all my clothes, but whatever. The trail was fun. Big rock slabs, pretty fast, pretty rowdy. I'm not really into taking lots of chances right now. I'm kind of more into like experiencing cool stuff. These trails were still pretty darn fun. A little faster and rowdier than what I kind of am hoping to find, but it was good. I didn't do anything fancy on the bike today, which is fine. Had a lot to do today, so I went for that fun ride in the morning, tried to film myself, tried to use the drone, and it only worked a couple times.
Ridden this bike in a little while. I'm paying the price. Oh, nice. It's starting to rain. Let's get on the bike, go find some lunch, and then see if we can make it into the backcountry of the Chilcotins.
Went to the grocery store, got what I need for a few days to be out here in the woods. Well, I say a few days, at least 2 nights. I think I got enough for 3 days. It's always a juggle of how much food versus weight you want to carry. One of the goals of this trip was to ride this Forest Service road that goes a long ways. Not nearly as long as the one I did yesterday, but it's supposed to be more rugged, more remote. Now, coming into it, like, I'm a little psyched out. Like, let me clarify. I'm not very good on the street. I got no clue on the street. And these huge street bike ADV, I don't know what I'm doing. But then I doubt my skills so much. The road wasn't a big deal at all. There was like 2 or 3 corners where it was a little steep and you just had to like be careful, but it was super mellow. But the views are spectacular. Going along the river there, oh my gosh, the water is this cool glacial turquoise. It's awesome. Climbing up to the mountain pass, getting into the Alpine, that was pretty cool. You definitely feel like you're out there. You see all the signs about how this is grizzly bear country. Yeah, that's very real.
Oh, close call. How bad is the damage?
Oh, we survived! Trying to find a campsite tonight. I just kind of went to the end of a road and was kind of hoping, because it's close to mountain bike trails, I could just set up camp and ride from camp 2 days in a row. Dream big, right? Well, that meant it had to be a pretty good camp. So I looked around and I rode the road all the way down until it turned into a single track, made it up a hill. The single track was like a little technical for the big bike, but whatever, it was fun. It was fine. And then I got to a section where it got really narrow, and if I made a mistake, I could lose my bike down a cliff into the creek. So I made the decision to turn it around, and I so wish I would have filmed turning it around, because Austin Powers would have been stoked. And then I backed it up like 20 feet down the trail.
which was like pretty precarious. I left the kickstand down and in gear and just used the clutch and the front brake to down the hill, and then Austin Power style 15-point turn. But it worked, never tipped it over.
Apple Gouda sausage with a little bit of spring salad mix. Threw some beans in there. Yum. That's gonna be dinner. Treated myself to some junky trail mix. Hiked down to the creek, got myself a gallon and a half or so of water. Filled up my dromedary bag.
Tomorrow's plan, wake up, go mountain biking. If that sounds good to you, hit the like button. If that sounds really good to you, hit the subscribe button.
Good morning. It's not raining yet. Plan is to do a pretty ambitious ride, something like 5,000 feet of climbing, just around 20 miles, just about all of it above tree line. I think we're gonna peak out around 6,000 feet, and right now I'm around 3,000, so.
Well, it just started raining.
That's pretty hefty. Had a yummy breakfast of oatmeal and trail mix thrown in. Got some bars. I really wanna bring a burrito, but I don't think I got space in my little backpack for a burrito, so might just have to do bars and then eat a big burrito lunch when I get back. It's a lot more prep than a regular bike ride from home, I can sure tell you that.
And the pedal up was like very mellow, similar gradient to like a railroad bed. Long. I just found all these other mountain biker cars parked, and holy cow, on like what is it today? A Thursday, a Friday? I don't even know. Like on a work day, there's tons of people out here riding. So that was surprising to see.
All in an effort to keep my feet a little bit drier for a little bit longer. Oh, I think I've climbed around close to 4,000 feet so far. Wow. I've been a lot of places, but this is definitely special.
Came around a corner and whoa, there was a cabin right there.
Anyone home? Wow. Oh my goodness, this is pretty cool. Guys, this is a little bit spooky, but super cool. August 91, 81, 90. Some solid fixins. Man, I've never been in a cabin this cool before. I think that's the IFHT symbol, is it not? Cabin smells a little musty, but not bad, and it's in pretty good shape. I mean, like, yeah, you know, it's a little raggedy, but I bet people have fires in this still. What else we got in here? Spray paint, motor oil, broom, sweep up after yourself. That's pretty cool. Let's close this, try to keep the critters out. I didn't even know this was here. I just kind of looked at Trail Forks and was like, I'll do a loop. Oh yeah, you can go in through the window if you need. All right, cabin. See you later, alligator.
Kept pushing on and on. It was raining off and on, but the higher I got, the more it was raining, which is not ideal.
Officially in the Alpine.
I got a little concerned that if anything happened, like it could get pretty hairy.
Once again, raining.
So I feel kind of foolish for not having packed my big clunky jacket. But then on the flip side, you pack a big heavy jacket and you start sweating from the inside out and you get really dehydrated. So I don't know.
Think that right there would be the top of the hill.
Whatever, just kept pushing on, push on.
The rain's actually cold now, so I have to keep moving or this could get a little sketchy. All right, rain, thank you for lightening up. Wow. I think we got even more view over here too. So that's where we came from. That was a long ways up here, but it looks like it's gonna be worth every little bit of it. I'm gonna throw on my warm shirt before I cool down. Well, I see cloud in every which direction, so let's stay warm and keep riding.
After hours of climbing uphill, I wanted to avoid becoming a human popsicle, and it felt really good to start dropping in on this descent. However, a crash out here can be absolutely catastrophic, so yes, I'm having some fun, but I'm not riding this absolutely recklessly fast.
There we go. Oh, look at that corner. No skidding allowed, but you can still lean the bike over and pump. Yes. crash. Chilling for just a moment here under this tree. The rain is, it kind of comes and goes, but it's definitely wet out there. That descent was cool, way steeper than I was expecting. Steeper than trails in America, that's for certain. The dirt's all soft and sandy, so it's not like super muddy. Sick. The rain's lightening up a little bit. Getting up to a saddle here. It stopped raining. I am a happy camper. This is my way. I was just up there earlier, rode all the way down, dropped all the way down, then traversed over and up. We are not going to go fast through the gnarly stuff. Backcountry gnarly and bike park gnarly are very different. Finally made it up to the second tippy top, and man, the view is, there's a ton of mountains around here. You can see all the old logging and stuff. You can see the beautiful lake, which is this cool turquoise glacial melt color to it. And then the Ripon Trail down like only had 1 or 2 little uphills, but it dropped like 5, no. I think I was up around 7,000 feet and camps around 3,000. So I guess it's a 4,000 foot descent, but it felt like more than that. It was just going down and down and down. Maybe because it's like a slower trail and not bike parky at all. But it starts up in the, you know, the high alpine above tree line with spotty, oh, not quite above, like right at like spotty tree line. And that trail is some of the best because you could actually see pretty good. So you could tell if there's gonna be a horse or whatever. And I didn't see any more people after that second group of mountain bikers coming down the climb. I did see a few tire tracks, probably from today. So I think some other folks had been up there. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of alone time. So yeah, the trail ended up getting into like this more vegetated mid-mountain area. But that was really challenging because everything was growing up and it was covered in water from the rain. So my hands, my pants, everything was getting soaked. And then my pedals would catch the edges because it's kind of troughed out from all the traffic. But it was still super fun. And then once it got in the forest, it was probably the most fun because then you have really solid dirt. The other dirt was nice, but this is like decomposed granite in the forest mixed with like a little bit of the organic loam. And then the roots were surprisingly grippy. I just threw on those new tires that worked better than I was expecting. That was cool. But the flow of the trail was pretty good. And there were spots where I was like, oh, I'm gonna back it down a little bit. And then trying to get back to camp from the end of the trail, I didn't know which way was which. I couldn't get my phone unlocked because I had wet hands and the phone was wet. But kept following common sense and yeah, here we go. Thank goodness I just got here. Almost back. That was a big one. So glad my moto's still here. I was looking up there and had a heart attack.
Another episode of Cooking with Jeff. I made one of those LMNT hydration drinks to try to recover from that ride and get a good night's sleep. I might even drink another one after this because I could use that extra magnesium and get my body to just slow down, relax. That was a big effort. Whew. So the plan is rice pilaf. I'm gonna throw in a spring salad mix. I've got some sausage here. Not fancy sausage, just like lager sausage. Got some avocado. It'll be okay. I bought my only other pair of dry pants on. They're my motorcycle riding pants, and my only other pair of shoes are my motorcycle boots. So I look like I'm about ready to hit the freeway right now. Beautiful evening. Let's eat. This site worked great, and this is a great example of why I love this type of trip. So it's all about problem solving. It's a constant riddle. In the van, yeah, you got the occasional problems to solve, but everything's so easy. On the bike, yeah, many more challenges to solve. It's kind of fun. So behind me, you'll see I've got a clothesline set up. I almost always end up with a clothesline, and that's because when I'm riding, I'm sweating buckets. Well, yesterday it was pouring rain while I was riding, so all my clothes got totally soaked. It's sunny today, so rather than pack up a bunch of sweaty, soaked, gross clothes and have a miserable ride today, it's worth it to take the time to let things dry out, solve that problem, and then pack a bunch of dry clothes. So this is a very sneaky spot. It's also close to a water source, another problem you gotta solve on the road. Getting water from like a creek or whatever, you need to filter it. And I've got a filter that hangs up so I can go do something else while water's filtering.
because it sucks to sit there and pump water, because when you pump with a filter, it's pretty slow. Trips like this are awesome, but they're also a little bit of a hurry because you got so much to do and things take so much longer than normal. But that's half the fun. Let's bust out another ride before we get back on the road. Start heading homewards. Today was a great day. I rode up the hill and it was a long climb up, but whatever, that's like the name of the game around here. And then when I got to the trail that I thought I was gonna go down, I went ahead and ate lunch there and it wasn't that late. I decided, you know what, let's just go a little bit further and see about doing a more epic ride. And if you guys know me, you know I like epic rides. I was at a trail intersection and I saw the sign that said like, make noise for the grizzly bears or something. Stopped there and then I heard someone yell. I'm like, oh, people. I hadn't really seen any people all day long. So I hang out, wait for a second, they all ride up, I say hello, and then someone recognizes me.
Kendall-Weed.
That's me. Is that Josh?
Yeah.
Dude, that's hilarious.
And I realize it's my friend Josh Kistner who works at Santa Cruz Bikes. I haven't seen him in years. Sure enough, he lives in Squamish now. Go figure. That was pretty cool, pretty random, middle of the woods.
Indeed, have a great ride. Have fun, guys.
Made it all the way up. Man, the views up there were great. Up to 7,000 feet. The trails kind of went from a Jeep road to single track, and then it was this awesome alpine descent.
Get a view of the other side of this ridge. All right. Came up that way yesterday. This is the top. My phone, bear spray, GPS. It was pretty fast. I didn't want to go as fast as I could because if anything went wrong, you're kind of on your own up there. Yeah, not much help. Kept it under control. Sure enough, it started raining partway down, so that kind of was a little bit of a fiasco, but whatever. I brought a jacket this time. So that was no problem. Kept finding the trail, and the trail was cool. It was long.
This trail had a very different feel than yesterday's trail. It was a lot faster, a lot straighter, and a little bit easier, and that in turn meant there was more options for kind of a natural rhythm section down the mountain. In fact, I kept playing over and over in my head old school mountain bike films, thinking that I was one of those dudes out in Canada riding some sweet Canadian alpine trail. Except I'm an American guy, and I'm not going nearly as fast as those fellows were, but regardless, it was still a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoy the footage of this riding here.
All right, I gotta focus on riding. This trail is sick. All right, I gotta focus. This is narrow. I don't wanna go too fast either. Crashing's not an option. Natural rhythm section. Yoo-hoo! Yes! Oh man, too cool.
The rain quickly became more of a factor, but regardless of the weather, you know what? Just blasting down an alpine single track like this is pretty darn cool in itself. The trail is not heavily traveled, so there's a few obstacles you got to deal with, but this is all par for the course, and I had a feeling I'd get back to my bike at a decent time.
Man, this front tire is pretty decent. I thought I was gonna lose it for sure. I did not.
Check out how different the climate is up at the higher elevation versus the bottom of the trail. It goes from alpine to basically a pine forest. Very different feel.
All right, sandy dirt. Oh, it's not even lush down here. It didn't get any of that water that we got up top. Wow, this is cool. This is different.
And then it finally happened.
Hey, bear. Hey, bear. I'm just cruising by, bear. Hey, bear. I'm just cruising by, bear. There we go. Made it to 7,000 feet. Saw a bear. Saw some friends from Santa Cruz. That was a pretty good ride. All right, let's load up, pack up, and jam.
started motoing, and I realized that I needed to get some gas. Like I didn't know if I could make it back to town or not with the amount of gas I had. I pop up there to the little mining town's gas station, and it was kind of an experience to use that thing. I realized I was hungry. I was starting to get kind of bonky, and I hadn't had much food after that big ride, so I was like, you know what, let's just head over here to the hotel. So as I pull up, I see this guy with a BMW ADV touring bike. Meet him, his name's Scott, he's from Australia, super cool dude. We end up getting dinner together, chatting about motorcycles and stuff. Had this amazing cowboy poutine. It's like French fries with an egg and beef and beans and stuff. It was really good. Hit the road, and right as the sun was setting, got a cool shot over the lake. And then the road that was kind of like, oh, this is a long ways in. The other day, coming out, it's nowhere near as long when you're going down and out as when you're coming in, so whatever. But I kept seeing random groupings of cars on the side of the road, which is pretty weird. As the sun went down and it got dark, everything was fine, but it required a lot more concentration to stay on the road and not crash out. So I took it easy. No flat tires, thank goodness, and made it down.
I guess I'm parked.
So I found a Forest Service road, found a random ditch, and here I am. Pretty idyllic. Sunlight's finally starting to come through. It's time for me to go. Time for me to moto on.
Admittedly, my extreme side wanted to go back the same way I'd ridden north. However, the realistic side of me didn't know if that bridge was going to actually be open like the guys said. So I took the Sea to Sky Highway and actually bumped into a famous YouTuber here at the coffee shop. That's Johan Borelli right there, everyone. What's up, Johan? And with that, I was back on roads I've traveled quite a few times over the last couple decades. I absolutely love traveling through British Columbia. Canada is an amazing country, and it's very different than the United States. The Sea to Sky Highway is not honestly my favorite place to ride a motorcycle. With all these turns and so much traffic, I get a little bit nervous. I'm fine at turns, I can deal with traffic, but add the two together and I'm not really in my element there. I will say this though, check out that dude's wheelie. I have to admit, it was definitely mixed emotions crossing back into the United States. For one, these trips get so much better a couple days in. You're used to the routine, you're accustomed to getting everything unpacked and repacked, you generally know where most stuff is, everything gets to be easier and more fun. On the flip side, the trip being over means I survived all the cars and traffic and potential for catastrophic accidents along the way. I also avoided any possible grizzly bear encounters, thank goodness. Since filming this, I have actually sold this beloved motorcycle here, and at some point this winter, I need to buy myself another adventure-style bike. If you want to see some more adventure motorcycle videos, then please drop me a comment down below. I'd super appreciate it. And I want to give a big thanks to my personal supporters that help me keep doing all these videos. First up, all of you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, all that jazz. A big thanks to my patrons who subscribe to watch my monthly riding tutorials over on Patreon. And finally, a special big shout out to Jensen USA, Industry 9, P&W Components, and Shimano. Thanks everyone, and whatever you do, keep on smiling. Peace.